Another video of the rest of the yard. There's our chicken coop and Madam in a Japanese PJ standing outside to guard from hawks. It's Henry the rooster. He's a beast. He's very gentle. He was hand reared, so he won't attack us at all. He's great. And he's got his harem. It's about 15 girls. And behind here on the fence line, we've actually put in a green manure. We've cut most of it back except for the sunflowers, and some of them are ridiculously huge. We've got citrus and veg up there behind that side. It's pretty similar to over here, so I'll just show you this side. We've got a swale, which you might see a bit of a valley just there. It runs up here behind that bale of straw that needs to be finished spreading, and we've got a little dam with an overflow that actually runs into this swale, and then we have an overflow just here that then goes underneath the back fence, and it's really made a difference to the neighbours. Have an unsealed drive that actually wraps around the side of our property and down the road, and this has pacified the water and slowed it down dramatically, so there's less erosion. So we have a row in the back here. This is what I mentioned this before. We've got citrus, more there's Thai basil, lettuces, nightshades. We've actually got a hardy kiwi, which is not looking very hardy at the moment. It is, I think it's been eaten to death. I'm hoping it reaches this little bit of wire to start creeping up the fence. We want it to act, hopefully to help the citrus in the winter if we can get a bit of size to it. Obviously not in the first year or so. So we've got 3 of those. More tomatoes. Oh, I just stepped in a big pile of water. More tomatoes and some spinach that's gone to seed there. We've got figs throughout here as well. More artichokes for biomass, as you can see. And there is gums in addition for biomass, more artichokes. I think there's a chili in there, but some of the chooks got in and ripped them apart. This is our little, it's a recent addition. It's a little pond that we put in. And it's more like a habitat pond for frogs, and they are going crazy since it's filled up. So we have a little runoff that goes up the yard here. I just dug this in now because the water was actually hitting our gravel drive. So here's a miniature drain swale, whatever you want to call it, which runs off from this swale you can see up here, which has still got a bit of water in it. Now there's 2 points of catchment for the swale. One is the overflow from our tank, which is chock-a-block full. It's finally overflowing, which is awesome. And here is our little spillway, which goes up to our little sedimentation pond that gets run off the road. Now, if I just jump the fence. Now, the last vid was at Christmas, and just since that time, we've had a little bit more rain, and things have started to go quite gangbusters. And we have actually had our first little harvest of veg. Here's some stuff that's gone to seed. You can see it's got a few little eggs on there, caterpillars. So that stuff we've just cut off and just chucked it on the ground as biomass. There's some of the little pumpkins coming through, and there's some more. This one's gonna have bulk. There's some more beauties in there. But it has really turned into quite a jungle. We've actually harvested tansy, harvested kale, we've harvested lemon balm, Actually, there are two types of tansy, I think. What else? There was something else. Oh, rocket. We have rocket that looks like a lawn. We've got this really, really tasty mustard green that has just started to go to seed. And so many people who have had it have just think it's sensational. So you can get your hands on it. I can't tell you what the name of it is at the moment. There's some cabbages. So everything's just looking wonderful. We'll get our first little crop of apples this year if the cockatoos give us a chance to pick them first. If we don't, such is life. And how's that for a rocket plant? That's about it's about 1.5 meters tall. Volunteer pumpkin growing in one of the compost bays. There's another pile that we're just building up. Here's the remnants of one. I just covered it because it was a little bit dry on the outside. I know it's rain, but you don't want it to be too wet. And here's a new addition. We've only had these guys for a few months. But this is our worm farm, and these guys are amazing. What they can chew through in a period of time, in a very short period of time. We've been told by the people who we got them off that their favourite thing is alpaca poo, and lucky for us, we've got 2 alpacas who do lots and lots of poo in piles. This is where our garlic was planted, and after we pulled it all out, we had all these leftover seedlings, so we just pumped it full of basil and lettuce and the leftover tomatoes, and that's doing really well. Bit of fennel going to seed, so that'll be everywhere next year. Here's our strawberries. We started off with 4 pots, and because it's cold, you believe I'm actually walking around in a beanie with a cashmere wool jumper, tracksuit pants and Ugg boots on the 1st of January in Australia. It is just insane. It's really cold. This is actually a persimmon that we've grown from seed, and this is called I think it's a black apple. Is it a black apple? Yeah, a black. Oh, you can't read that. A black apple. It's actually a native from Australia. It's a subtropical. We'll stick it in the greenhouse. But there's some figs that we just grew from suckers. Bit of saltbush. Another bay tree. I'll show you inside the greenhouse. Didn't see it before. So this is just a basil bonanza. Basil. And there's some tulsi, which is holy basil. And there's some more basil. A little bit of onion. Tomato plants. So this is all volunteers that were in the pots, and when they started growing, we said, oh, we'll just leave them. This is curry leaf, just to give it a bit of a rub. It's gorgeous. Another curry leaf. So that's a lemongrass. It's been there for a while. A little bit of parsley. And these are citrus trees. That's not a citrus tree, that's a weed. Citrus trees that we've actually grown from seed. So that's really exciting. Tomatoes. Yeah, so there's some leftover garlic seeds. We had a really good garlic crop this year. Oh, there's a locust that a really nice lady named Ashley gave to us for free. She was growing some avocados from seed in glass jars, which I could say I've done before, but they're not supposed to do very well in frost. I think the best stuff in Australia at the moment is Hass. Yeah, we've got 2 of those growing in here, and once we get them to size, if we get enough shade to protect them from frost, maybe we can stick them out here as well. And there's the magic juice, that's the wormwee. There's our catchment off the roof of the greenhouse. Happy days.